Alright guys, well anybody who knows anything about the Halo universe knows that it's been in a pretty rough state for about the last 10 plus years or so. I mean, most people argue about which Halo game was the best, Halo 2 versus Halo 3. There are some who think Reach was probably like where the peak was reached as far as the story and the multiplayer goes. Personally, I like all of those for various reasons, but anything beyond Reach, other than like ODST, I guess, Halo 4, Halo 5, it's just been a complete travesty when it comes to the story, the series, the gameplay. I mean, Halo Infinite was terrible as well. I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, but I played through it once and never went back. That's just the way Halo is right now. And unfortunately, Halo being a Microsoft, you know, their baby, their product, their original first-person shooter that kind of set the Xbox apart from the other consoles, is just in a very, very bad state. Marty O'Donnell, who is the original composer for Halo, has actually come out of retirement to run for political office. And so, of course, he's been talking a lot about the political ideologies of companies like Microsoft, about all this DEI push and the woke agenda going on in gaming as well as Hollywood and entertainment. So it's been a lot that they've been talking about as far as like the actual state of the gaming industry. And you can see a bit of his interview down here, where he kind of goes over the whole DEI push.
You know, no, it wasn't. And the current, you know, go woke, go broke. We just keep seeing that happen over and over again. When DEI is not DEI, it is not diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is code word for essentially a Marxist worldview of power structures, and you know, there's so many catchwords that are being injected into the conversation: colonization, decolonization, all of these kinds of things.
And unfortunately, that's a lot of where I've been getting some criticism here on the channel about people saying, why are you using the words like Marxist? Why are you using words like communist? Well, it's because of all this DEI push, like Marty's kind of spelling out here, it all comes from the same place. It comes from a specific worldview, a political worldview, where all of these ideas and ideologies and political, you know, beliefs all kind of coalesce into this weird woke activist DEI push. So, of course, he went over how Halo even tried to change the name of the Arbiter, because originally they were going to call him the Dervish, but apparently they were worried about that offending Muslims because reasons. I guess Dervish is a thing in Middle Eastern countries for Muslims, and of course they didn't want to already have a religious, zealous group of aliens who were trying to wipe out the universe have that term Dervish applied to the Arbiter, although the Arbiter was essentially the redeemed hero of the second game. So I'm not quite sure why that'd be an issue, but whatever. So now what we're seeing pointed out on Twitter is it if things weren't bad enough for Halo, if things weren't going in the wrong direction between the games, the state of the gaming industry, as well as like the Halo TV show, which people have just been like dragging through the mud for a couple of years now. Now we have this person, Nick, who apparently is a producer for the Halo game franchise. Nick has the rainbow flag, trans flag, and Palestinian flags all in his bio. Ironically, Nick is white, and as far as I can tell, the person he refers to as his partner is a female. So this is a very strange, confused person, in my opinion. It's very odd. But of course, Nick has recently come out and said things like this: I honestly don't think I could work on a game that glorifies or fantasizes modern guns. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Rainbow Six Siege. I've had moments I've struggled with Halo. Now, I'm going to reread this, okay? Just listen. I've had moments I've struggled with Halo, but the weapons and world is pretty sci-fi, which creates a large enough separation from reality. This was from April of last year, okay? And people just discovered it today, and they're all like, what the actual hell is going on here? But Nick has had some weird takes over the years. Going back to just a couple weeks ago, or maybe, June 19th, just last week, I keep wanting to wake up and all the toxic, terrible Star Wars fans are done for and just disappear. Okay, done for real and just disappear. If it were just valid criticisms, it would all be fine, but art is subjective and people are allowed to dislike whatever they want. It's the, quote, racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic hate comments and death threats that are becoming more and more commonplace. Now, I've been involved in a lot of the discourse around the Acolyte Star Wars on my other channel, discussing things like, you know, fan backlash, the producers of the Star Wars TV shows going and attacking the fans, trying to rile up the fan base, trying to anger them. Hell, we just recently saw the star Amanda Stenberg come out and do her absolutely cringe music video that she supposedly recorded on her laptop and, created in 72 hours. But that being said, supposedly there's death threats, and I've never seen any of these. But okay. Nick also says, apparently in regards to Star Wars again, if you are racist, homophobic, or sexist, it's an immediate block. Star Wars is for everyone except bigots. And of course, these people, it's always about who they believe bigots are. He even had these really terrible takes last year about how he's burned out on the original Star Wars timeline. High Republic has been so refreshing because it's not tied to that period. High Republic, if you don't know, is the most god-awful part of Star Wars that was ever created, which is before the original movies. Going on again about Star Wars fans, he's like, nah, bro, only way you're not a true Star Wars fan is if you create a toxic environment by gatekeeping and shaming people for liking something you personally didn't. You can be disappointed, but you cannot project that onto what it means to be a Star Wars fan. And I saved the best one for last. This tweet here from 2020. IGN tweeted out, only real gamers know. Gamescom 2020. And you see this picture of this console device here that's got like controllers on 4 sides of it, right? Okay. I vaguely recognize this. Nick responds with, can we stop with the, quote, only real gamers, quote, gatekeeping crap? So he doesn't like that IGN tweeted out something about real gamers. He thinks it's gatekeeping. This is the kind of person that they have working on Halo, okay? Now, it shouldn't come as a shock because we've already talked about this in the past. Microsoft has had this Welcome to Gaming for Everyone's Product Inclusion Resource Hub, where it's this idea about having diversity and equity and inclusion injected into developers, how they're coding, how they're programming, how they're using language as far as like their notes on the coding. You've seen where they don't want to make women beautiful anymore. They want to make sure that standard stereotypical heterosexual depictions of beauty are not being followed, that they're intentionally trying to make women less attractive, less sexualized. And of course, the crazy thing about it is this company, Certain Affinity, that we've talked about recently, has actually worked on the Halo franchise in depth, going back all the way to, I believe, 2000. Well, it was back on Halo 2 they were working on multiplayer maps. They've been working hand in hand with Bungie, with 343 Studios, developing and creating maps and multiplayer packs and helping remaster some of the games. And I just covered this yesterday, that this person, Megan Fausti, I believe her name was, has worked at Certain Affinity up until last year. Now, this is the craziest thing, because Halo was already going the way of the dinosaur as far as like in the competitive shooter scene. It is falling massively behind. It's sad to see because I grew up playing Halo. I love the game, whatever. But when they intentionally work with companies that hire people like this, that hire people like Nick, who obviously doesn't even like shooter games because somehow they trigger him. And then we have Marty O'Donnell coming out talking about how essentially Microsoft was trying to change the verbiage in Halo 2 because they didn't want to offend a certain group of people in the Middle East. This is just pathetic. Unfortunately, this is more of the same crap that we've seen over and over again. And, I don't know that it's going to get any better anytime soon. Let me know what you guys think about all this, though. Are you going to be playing any of the new Halos in the future? Are you basically moving on to a different game? Because personally, I find that Halo is probably in the worst state that it's been in a really long time. But I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know what you think about all this, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.